Right, okay, so this is the plant in question. This is Dahlia Imperialis, and this is, well, this variety is the world's tallest growing dahlia. It can quite easily get 10 to 12 feet in height. Has bright pink singular flowers, slightly nodding habit, but as you can see, grows very vigorously. This is this year's growth already, as is this piece from here. This woody stem is what I had to play with last year. It was just a piece that was given to me, so it's in this 2 litre size pot, and essentially just been in the greenhouse all this time. So what I wanted to do was actually take some cuttings. So not done cuttings from this one before, but have done a little bit of research. So what I thought I'd do is try taking cuttings in 2 different ways. Obviously sharp clean secateurs at the ready, potting media at the ready. Going to be using perlite mixed with normal multi-purpose compost, so that will give about 20% by way of volume. So if I do that as a mix, and what I'm going to do is do enough mix to fill those 2 pots. Once the mix is done, fill the pots, give them a good water, and leave them to stand for about half an hour. Right, so I got the compost mix done, got the rooting compound ready there, and clean sharp secateurs. So what I'm actually going to do is cut this woody stem just above this leaf joint, like so. There we are. Oh. So that gives us that, and at the same time I'm also going to cut this down, which by cutting this down, that will encourage these side shoots to shoot. You can see there in dahlias you get these nice hollow stems, so that can always be a bit of a pain when you're trying to do propagation. So for the time being, that's essentially this plant done with. I'll go and put this, well actually I'll just leave it to one side and get the plant material ready. So as with normal dahlias, as in the garden dahlias everyone's familiar with, they have hollow stems as well, which is why they can be a bit problematic, which is why you take your tip cuttings. And as we can see with that shot, Imperialis is exactly the same, albeit probably worse to deal with because the stem is bigger, and so therefore it creates a hole at a more juvenile stage. So what we need to do actually is to find the point at which it hasn't got a hollow. So it still has a hollow there, and hopefully, yeah, see there, that's sealed. So what we'll do is we'll use that, discard those couple of leaves, he says. There we are. And just going to try with this section here. So give it a good old prod in there. And only just into the upper portion, so only just covering that joint. If you bury a dahlia cutting too deep, then all that happens is you get the stem rot and they go blackened. So essentially you can see there, see, that's where we cut it. That's all rubbish. do the same on this piece, which based on just now's experience should be solid. There we are. Pop that to one side. Hopefully, there we are. Yep, so that's solid as well. Exactly the same. And because this is quite a long stem with too much growth really, snip those off. I'll just leave that. Again, rooting compound, plenty of rooting compound, and again literally just pushing that in, so it's barely a centimetre in there, so it's making, you just want to make sure it's got good contact with the compost, and that is that for that. And that can go down there onto some base heat. Right, so I'm not going to use that or need it, because actually, as we saw, the cuttings or the stems didn't lend themselves to doing any more than what we achieved really. So saying that, I can get one out of this. Just well, I'll try it anyway. I don't know whether that will. I'll go and stick that in the other pot. Bear with. Right, back with you. So I'm going to pop that away. We got the stem, this stem here, and I've seen this on a few, well, say a few videos. I've seen it on one video, and I've also read up. And essentially, what is supposed to work is cutting the stem so that you end up with an eye or shoot on either side, so on either part of your bit. So let's see if we can cut through the middle ish. There we are. So that's the middle there, that's the eye. There we are. And I'm just going to do is cut this back a little bit, and supposedly what should work is by pressing this into the soil like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them opposing ways, so just in case they root and shoot, then the shoots aren't going to be competing with one another. So just pop it in, sort of anchor it in by mounding the soil around the sides. To give that, and again that's just going to go onto the base heat of the propagator. And really, I don't know how long that's going to take, but hopefully it will do something, and then I'll come back and show you. So we're now on the 22nd of June, and these are the Dahlia cuttings of the Imperialis. It's time to pot them up, and for that I'm just going to use multi-purpose compost and pot them into some 13cm pots, or 1 litre pot, which is the same size as that, but I'm just going to obviously divide that up. So let's get the camera sorted. So nothing too technical on this at all. Right. Putting this in kind of as it comes, to be honest, and then we'll get them potted and then water after. Don't worry about that, but you can see it's got some great root development. through that. Let's carefully get that out. Oh, don't want to damage those tiny roots on that one. It's not got a lot of root, but it's got enough just to get it by. And annoyingly, because the stem is so long, it's only just fitting in there, but it means that end up with the shoot right up against the edge, but that's all right. So that's the first one done, which actually means that the bulk of the root must belong to this other one. So get that potted again with that, just leaving the gap. So this is not going to separate in the same manner. Trying to preserve that root, and you can see actually that that's rooted from the opposite end to where the plant is, which is unexpected, and also a bit of a pain because it means we're going to have to disturb the root to get it into this pot, but it will go. Right, so that's that in, and once again it's going to end up having to go in right up to the top, to the edge. Get some composting around there. Don't worry too much about that because that'll soon grow upwards, and let's face it, now we know how to do it, we can always do some more cutting. Now for this one, put your hand over the whole pot so it doesn't all fall out. Give it a little shake, and that really has got a lot of root to it. I don't know whether I'll be able to separate this out that easily. Yeah, I'll take this one off. I'll go and pot this one separately, and in actual fact I'll just leave this as is, including that piddly piece, because that probably doesn't account for a lot. So let's just pop that there. And so with this one, I'm actually going to pull that one out and discard that. So with this one, pop it back into the pot. Bit of fresh compost in there to fill that void where we removed the other one from, and add a bit of fresh to the top there. And then this one, fill it, pop the other one. So now we can centralise that one, get some fresh around that. Obviously breaking your compost up as you go, and that goes into the tray also. So now we've got 4 new plants, just got to give them a water. So let's do it. All watered in for Dahlia Imperialis. Whether I take the tops out of that, I don't know. And let me go and show you the mother plant. So it's just slightly obscured by the magnolia, and given the fact it only got planted 3 weeks ago, it's doing amazingly well. So that is already over 2 feet in height, and well, let's try and get in there. So we got this smaller shoot there, and that is where we took our stem cuttings from originally. So it won't be long before that's up above the magnolia and filling this whole void, hopefully with some colour. Right, so that's the end of the video on how to propagate Dahlia Imperialis in 2 different ways. 6 weeks it's taken to go from cuttings to having these viable plants, and well, as you can see, I think the ones that were done from the soft cuttings, much like a normal dahlia, has proven to be more vigorous. But having said that, if you're doing your cuttings and you're pruning the plant down anyway, then you might just as well use the hardwood cutting or hardwood sections to give you some extra plants too. So both have great uses, and make maximum use of material you're cutting from your plant, so you're not chucking anything in the bin. But yeah, this first year of trying to propagate it, or first time of propagating it, and so you can see that actually it didn't take a lot of effort, and been pretty successful. So yeah, there's definitely scope for improvement. So if you got any questions, then obviously send them over to me. I'll do my very best to answer them for you. If you do like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on the future videos I'm doing. And I do always say it, but it's so true. Have have fun with what you're doing. Enjoy your gardening experience, and yeah, keep trying different things and push yourself to try something different. You know, just keeps it interesting, doesn't it? And obviously, doing propagation means that you get a load of extra plants for nothing. So, till next time, bye for now.